And this blind man is sitting on the side of a road near Jericho. And this road is a road that Jesus is traveling on in Luke chapter 18. And Jesus is going to take the road to Jericho. He's going to go through Jericho all the way up to Jerusalem. And at this point in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus is very popular. Word has spread. There is nowhere Jesus goes without a major crowd around him. And so here's the blind man, and he's begging on the side of the road by himself. And he starts hearing this massive crowd come through. And he's thinking to himself, I don't know what's going on. That there would be some big crowd coming. I don't think we have a festival. I don't think the balls are playing. I don't know what's happening. That this crowd is coming. And so he looks around and he asks somebody, he says, what's the deal with the crowd? And they say, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. And all of a sudden, it clicks. Jesus of Nazareth. That's the one everybody's been talking about that has this connection with God. He's doing miracles. He's telling the teachers who teach about God how they're doing it wrong and how they need to be doing it better. He's connecting with people everybody thought couldn't connect with God. His word is spreading fast, and the blind man is sitting here, and something inside the blind man says, I need to connect with God. But the crazy thing about the story is he doesn't quite know why. Now, to us, it seems obvious, but to him, he can't quite put his finger on why he wants to connect with God. He just knows he's got a desire and a need to connect with God. And so he starts hearing this crowd come, and he does the only thing he can do, because obviously he can't see Jesus around him. So he just starts yelling out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Now, that's a really cool little line right there. He doesn't call him Jesus of Nazareth. He calls him Jesus, Son of David. What he's saying is Jesus, Messiah, Jesus, person I know is connected to God. He starts crying out to him to have mercy on him because he wants God to have mercy on him. He wants to connect with God. And then all of a sudden, the roadblock comes. And it comes in the form of a few people in the front of the crowd. And the people in the front of the crowd, they look at him. And it says they rebuke him. Meaning they are sternly looking at him, telling him to be quiet. Like, stop talking. Blind man on the side of the road, you are an interruption to us. Jesus is very busy. He is obviously on his way to Jerusalem. He obviously has very important things to do. And you blind man on the side of the road, you are not included in that group. Be quiet. You're upsetting the apple cart. Now, I look at that, and a part of your heart just kind of goes out to the guy, doesn't it? Because you know he just wants a few minutes of Jesus' time because he just wants to be able to connect to Jesus, and yet, here's the roadblock. And we know what it's like to feel like we're there. Because it's like all of a sudden you can't move any farther. It's like all of a sudden you can see hope just over the horizon, but for some reason you just can't get past this thing that's standing in the way. And you look at the blind man and you think to yourself, so that's going to be the end of the story. That's it. They're going to tell him to be quiet, and Jesus is just going to keep going. And he's going to miss out not on connecting with Jesus, but connecting with God. And what chance is a guy like that going to have again? I think a lot of times we hit that point and that's where we quit. That's where we think that God is done with us. But it's a really interesting thing about the stories the guy probably heard. Because as I was reading through the Gospel of Luke, I heard some of the stories the blind man would have heard.